Hi everyone, this is Prachi Jetli from IUSA Media, and we are here at a very special event by Link and Options Center. The organization is celebrating its 29th anniversary, and we are here at their special event called Evening at the Oscars. There are going to be multiple awardees and honorees that are going to be recognized for their distinguished achievements and contributions in the community. And we'll be talking to each one of them, and I'll be presenting to you their achievements, their experiences right here at the Evening at the Oscars by Link and Options Centers. All right, let's talk to one of the much deserving awardee for congressional leadership. Let's talk to our very own congressman from the first district, Honorable Jonathan Jackson. And we all have seen the work that the Jackson family, has been doing for so many years, working for the underrepresented, working for juvenile justice, and fighting for equity and justice for everyone. And let's talk to the congressman and talk to him about how he feels about today's award and what he has to say about today's event and Lincoln Options and the host, Dr. Twin Green. And let's talk to Congressman Honorable Jonathan Jackson. Congressman Jackson, thank you so much for speaking with us. First of all, congratulations on receiving the Congressional Leadership Award. Much deserving. What do you say? What do you have to say about that?
Well, I'm honored, a freshman member, and I appreciate the work of Dr. Green, and honored to be considered worthy of an award with all these distinguished other recipients.
And I have had the pleasure of interviewing Sir Jesse Jackson as well. And the family, the Jackson family, has been fighting for justice, for equity, for representing the unrepresented people. How do you feel now while you are in the office representing so many people?
I'm honored that I feel as if I've been well prepared for this moment. I see the challenges that are facing the nation, and the civil rights mantle has to be picked up, has to be continued. We're in for the fight of our life. The Supreme Court is going rogue. They're overturning precedent decisions on civil rights, human rights, the attack on women's bodies, the attack on lack of discrimination, the attack on education, and a formula for inclusivity to deal with past harms to the African American communities, and to, for once and for all, get rid of discrimination.
Right.
But the tools that were put in place for the remedy have now been stripped. And so now we're back into one of the greatest civil rights battles of our time.
Congressman, I'm so glad you mentioned the word education, because you yourself have been an educator, working with the youngsters, and now representing people in your new office. And this organization, Lincoln Option, also work with youngsters and people of all ages, trying to help them out of the mental health situations they might be going through. What do you have to say about this journey that you have made as an educator to representing people in the office?
Well, if you look at the people in the other party and some of the presidential candidates, they're asking to abolish the Department of Education. I mean, so there's a full-scale frontal assault on education in this country. We're in an all-time low of people being recruited into the ranks of being into the teaching profession. We are currently going through an education crisis. We have the talent, we have the know-how, but we've not rewarded it as a society, as a culture.
Right.
And unfortunately, we know some of the people that do outstanding things in entertainment and athletics, we've not elevated the true greatness of the teaching profession.
So true.
And if we ask, like, what has really made America great over the years, when we expanded public education to let the masses get in, since the 1890s all the way up into the 1960s, America was adding a year of education on to the general population. Since the 1960s, since we've had the Voting Rights and Civil Rights Act, we have seen our education system in decline. We need to go back and invest in education, open the doors of access, open the doors of opportunity. Now we look at students having $1.7 trillion of student loan debt. It's an unsustainable burden.
Right.
We've got 28 million students that are now about to resume there are payments that don't have the funds to it. This is one of the other crises of our time. This is an unintended consequence after the Bush administration redid the bankruptcy laws. So we need to make sure that every able-bodied person has a right to an access to education.
Okay. I'm so glad you mentioned that point also, because my next question to you was, the juvenile justice and equality is what you guys have been working, especially you and your family. And coming back to Rainbow Push Coalition, what is the update from the coalition? You are the national spokesman for that. What are the updates? We would like to know more about the coalition as well. What's going on?
So I've had to resign officially as a national spokesperson.
I see. Okay, so that's the update.
But the Rainbow Push is absolutely in my heart. I'm going to continue to be an advocate for it. My father, Reverend Jesse Jackson, has given the presidency to Reverend Freddie Haynes out of Dallas, Texas, a dynamic leader. Why Freddie Haynes? Most capable, most courageous, and most has a compassion for the people. Texas now the epicenter of so many of our fights. When you look at what's happening with the Houston School District, where they are now, that the Governor Abbott has taken over their public school system, they are turning libraries into detention centers. Okay, they are underfunded. We're looking at the migration and immigration issues that are happening. We're looking at the climate change that's happening in Texas. We're looking at the rollback on voting rights and protection starting in Texas. So we're taking the fight to Texas and to be a bulwark to stop what Texas is doing that's spreading through Florida and other places. So there's so many good things that are going on. And this is like, we've gone into the civil rights battle of our lifetime. What the Supreme Court did on June 9th, when they said you cannot have race conscious admission policies, that was such a dagger in the heart of civil rights, because they attacked the oldest private institution, Harvard, 1636, the oldest public institution, University of North Carolina, 1789, and they cited the 14th Amendment ratified in 1868. They've gone past the 60s, 50s, 20s. They've gone past 1896 of Plessy versus Ferguson, where they justified separate but equal. Shortly thereafter, the attorney generals for 13 states, following that, have served notice to a letter to the Fortune 100 corporations. You cannot have diversity in recruitment and in contracting. They are attacking the Black business and professional class. And now they are starting to file lawsuits on medical schools. Do you have minorities that you are recruiting on race consciousness? So it was a narrow decision that will have broad implications. We have to now get our troops in line. So the attack on women's rights and reproductive health, they're going to hurt their own universities in those states, because doctors aren't going to be able to do necessary procedures in order to pass boards. So they're hurting themselves. What Tuberville is doing in the state of Alabama and holding up the military appointments, is he holding them up so that he's hoping that President Trump can win and they can in turn point Trumpites into the military? What DeSantis is doing, trying to whitewash American history. After you desensitize people to African American history, what's next? Is it to Greek history? Is it to Irish history? To Jewish history? Is it to Indian history? Where does it stop? So we must make bold claims. As opposed to burning books, they ought to open books. As opposed to banning books, they ought to read books. We need to go forward. There's never been a good outcome for a culture to start burning and banning books.
And I remember you fought for the Chicago public schools also, right?
Yes.
Yes. So again, I think that is what I was talking to my viewers about. You are all about education, justice, and equity. And coming back to your office, any updates from your office?
Well, we're going to have a resource fair that's coming up this week.
Okay.
We're very excited about that. We've marked our first 100 days. We've got legislation
Congratulations.
that we're about to present, some regarding climate, some regarding civil rights, and others regarding voting rights. So you're going to hear about those, and they've been approved and within the legal counsel at the House. So very excited.
Oh, that is exciting. Absolutely. Any message for Dr. Twin Green and her team?
Well, Dr. Twin Green has been on this for so long, and it's almost prophetic that she has taken on the challenge of mental health. And everything that was good in the society has been eroded during COVID, and everything bad has been amplified and magnified. Mental health now that was in the shadows is now on the on the front edge. And we look at and mental health is not just with the students, they need it, not just with the families, they need it. They need mental health professionals, even at the highest levels of our government. When you look at what DeSantis is saying, when you look at what the governor of Florida on saying there were benefits to slavery. I mean, my God, when you look at what Tuberville is saying, blacks in the military will weaken it if they have diversity. When you look what Eli Crane is saying, the congressman of Arizona, talking about coloreds and calling African Americans some terms from 50 years ago, that once they start and start pitting Asians and others against blacks, it's not going to work.
Yes.
The people that are against African Americans that have tried to put Asians up front, that same spirit, they can't tell Indian Native Americans, they can't tell Indians from of Indian origin, they can't tell people from Asia, they can't tell Hispanics, they can't tell anybody apart. It will happen to us all. So we have to be in unison to fight back. This is a composite nation. It's welcome for everyone, and we have to make sure that we live up to our ideals.
Oh, wow. That is absolutely true. That was very, very enlightening, Congressman. Thank you so much for giving us all the information. That was, I mean, I could interview you all day. I could listen
But
to.
we'll have a seat next time.
Yes, please, because I would love to get all the. No, you are on top of these things that actually matter, and then there are something that we don't know about, but that matter to all of us. And yeah, I mean, as I said, thank you
So
so
we'll
much.
do it again, and that's what I do as my assignment. Is you all have put me in D.C. and I've got to report back to you, and I certainly appreciate the opportunity and your community support and your support for getting me here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
have a good day.